everyone, this is Dr. V explaining exam number 3. The exam has 2 parts. The first thing that you should do is make a copy of your exam document. And if you are going to continue using a Google Doc, the first thing you should do is share it with me. That way, when you put the Google Doc link on Canvas, I have the link that I can access. Don't risk getting a 0 on an exam because I can't see it. That would be horrible. And I've had it happen when students post stuff like that incorrectly and go out of town. Your other thing is you can go to File, Download, and use a Word document. I have Canvas set up to take a Google Doc link or a Word upload. I think what's in the blue box is self-explanatory. I'm not looking for a lot of heavy-duty citation. I really only want citation and a works cited if you go outside of the resources that are part of the course. Part 1 is a reflection. There's no trap in this. You're writing about your own participation in the course. I'm not going to go change any participation grades of any kind on Canvas because of what you write here. So give yourself an honest assessment and tell me about your learning. Part 2 has prompts that are repeated from the first exam, and you do new things with them. You write about something you read after the first exam, and then you compare what you come up with to something you did write about on the first exam. So you're going backwards and looking at your earlier work. You're going to want to go grab your first exam in order to take this one. I have it here in red and in a box below that I'm asking you to use anything after the first exam, which is right here, to count. Some of you are going to get lucky and find that you wrote about things in your first paper or lesson plans that's actually going to count here. Like you'll be able to copy and paste from that too, put it that way. Write skip and highlight it in yellow for the ones you skip so that I can easily see. You're going to do 3 out of what you see here, the same as on the first exam. You can do the same 3. I suspect most people would want to go back and use the same 3 that they did, unless you skipped something on the first exam or just have some profound desire to do something different. And the most profoundly different one is choice number 8. I'll get to that in a minute. These 3 are worth 30 points a shot. That's 90 points plus the 10 for the reflection for the grade. I really don't mind however much copying and pasting you do from your earlier work in the course. You just have to follow the most basic instructions for each of these, and that you add some new material applying the question to whatever you did after the first exam readings, and you compare something that you wrote on your first exam to what you write here about the reading that you've read since that time. At the very bottom of the exam, I have a blue box where I explain that in a little bit more detail if you find it confusing. I think when you read through the prompts, it'll make total sense. I want to go ahead now to a couple more notes. Choice number 6 is not available to teacher prep students who did not do the first paper and are doing the second paper, or who turned in the first paper late and used Moby Dick for a lesson plan option. That's a small number of people in the class, but choice 6 is not available to you if that applies, because that would be double dipping in a way that is not acceptable for this exam. Choice 7 is totally different. It's an outlier. It's worth 90 points if you do this one. I link here to a scholarly article that's all of 8 pages. It's not that long. And it's about, you can see here in the little teeny window, the Cassock chapter in Moby Dick and the theme of literary creativity. And the author of it, believe it or not, his name is John Stark. He writes about that Cassock chapter, and for lack of a better way to explain it, it's the whale penis chapter where the guy puts on the remnant, so to speak, as a coat. And John Stark in this article argues about how this is not meant to be just this little dirty bit, and it's so much more than that. And he goes into this argument, and I enjoy what he has to say, and I want to know what you think. So you read it, and then you react to the article. The stipulations here are pathetic shift should be somewhere in your response. It should be at least 6 paragraphs so that it replicates what you would have done if you had done the choices up here. 2 passages from the Stark article, 2 passages from Moby Dick. Informality is fine, and if you're really feeling extra creative, write it like Ishmael would have. That means you can use second person and break that rule for the exam. You can use footnotes. You can try on Ishmael's voice if you want to and have fun with it, as long as you meet the rest of the criteria. The overall grading criteria for this exam, it's holistic. You can see it right here. And in the blue box at the bottom, I give you some tips on how to structure your sentences if you're still a little stuck on how to use the kind of language that this exam requires, since you're going back and recycling so much from work you already did in the class. Thanks for watching.